What do it do, YouTube? It is your boys, Frank and CJ. And guess what? We back with another retro show for you. Today's show is the Raw from October 11th, 1999. So we're coming up on that date in about 4 days.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
good
Yeah,
time. It's good timing.
yep.
Up CJ. He's Frank. Yes, RIP to Dick Buckus. Absolutely.
No doubt, no
Uh,
doubt. And shout out to the boys, man. They went out 0-4 record, and
nice.
none of it mattered. They went out and played for Dick Buckets last week, man. Shout out to the boys getting the dub just hours after one of the greatest Bears of all time passed away. Big shout out to everybody. Fields, Moore, all of them. Big time.
So, Frank, why don't you go ahead and just tell the people why you decided to pick this episode?
Well, this was it definitely we don't do like anniversary shows. Like, yeah, the date for this is coming up, but I picked this like long ago. This was like back in July that I picked this show. But the
Yeah,
reason I picked this show, I mean, this was a Raw at how do you say, the Georgia Dome, right in the middle of the Monday Night Wars. Like WWE grew some balls. Not to say that they didn't before, but they grew a set and was like, we don't give a fuck WCW or not. We're coming to your hometown. We're gonna shut shit down. And
fact.
yeah, so let's get into it then.
Well, before we get
Um,
into it, let's remind the viewers that if they have balls, they'll like this video and they'll subscribe.
no doubt, no doubt.
I'm sorry.
I said no doubt. I
Okay.
said hold on. I said no doubt.
Hey baby, hey doo doo. Sorry. Anyway, uh,
Um,
opening segment
hang on
was
a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I'm doing this. I'm doing this.
go right ahead.
So I watched this show two different times because we actually had like we had so many days where we were supposed to do this and we never got to do it. But so the first time I watched the show, I watched a blank DVD version of it. So I made, which is normally what I always do to make sure I don't miss any edits. But the second time I watched it, I watched the network version, which there really wasn't any edits. But one thing I saw on the network version that I didn't see on the blank DVD version, the show kicks off with a in memorial video narrated by Vince McMahon for Gorilla Monsoon. This was right after Gorilla passed
No,
away.
turn that loud.
One of one of the greatest commentators the business has ever seen. Rest in peace, of Gorilla. So
Yep.
then
R.I.P.
after the after the video package, Mr. McMahon comes out and welcomes the Georgia Dome fans, the Georgia Dome viewers to Monday Night Raw. It seemed as if we really didn't need Mr. McMahon for this segment, but I feel like it was just his way of coming out and being like, "Hey, look, we're in the Georgia Dome. We're here. We're in your house." I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's why Mr. McMahon he wanted to be the first one to come out in this show because we really didn't need him for this segment. He literally just came out, welcomed the fans to the show, and then introduced Stone Cold Steve Austin. And now we technically get into the opening segment. Stone Cold comes out, calls out Triple H. He's like, "I'm tired of the way you've been treating JR lately. Uh, and I'm tired of the way you beat up that little rattlesnake in the bag," which was a segment that happened a few weeks prior to this. And so he tells Triple H, he calls Triple H out. He's like, "Get your ass out here. I don't care if No Mercy is this Sunday," which, by the way, this is a go home show to No Mercy 99, which was a damn good pay per view. My favorite pay per view of 1999. But he tells Triple H to come out. Triple H comes out and heads right for the announcer's table. He walks over to JR, sort of pushes him down as JR stands up because Triple H is walking that way. Well, Triple H pushes him down, walks away, and is headed towards the ring when JR like throws his pen, picks up a mini fan, and hits Triple H the mini fan, which of course Triple H no sells because I mean, no disrespect to JR, but JR is a commentator. Triple
Not a
H is a
wrestler.
buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Triple H is a buff motherfucker. Of
Uh,
course, don't matter if it's some fan, it's not gonna hurt Triple H when it's being delivered by JR.
yeah.
But Stone Cold comes out of the ring and comes to JR's safety before Triple H could do anything, and a brawl breaks out between Triple H and Austin. That at one point, Austin, as you see in the thumbnail for this video, Austin has Triple H. You know, he's holding Triple H,
Yeah.
and Jr. gets a shot in. Triple H, I mean, China gets involved at the end, and that's what leads to Triple H and China were walking out together, and Triple H got on the mic and said, "You know what, Austin, tonight, me, China against you and good old JR," and that sets up the main event for the night, that tag match. Or I
Yeah.
thought it was. I had always thought. I don't know how long ago I watched this show before watching it the two times I did the other day, but I thought that this was the main event. I had always, for some reason, thought that this was the final match on the show, that the match went off the air with this, or the show went off the air with this match. As we're going to find out later, it didn't.
Yeah.
And I sort of have a bit of a problem with it. I felt like what they went for main event should not have been the last match, the main event, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Now we see
Um,
backstage.
I was going to say something real quick. Uh,
Yeah,
I loved how every time Triple H did something, anything, Jim
yeah.
Ross was, "Oh, you son of a bitch! Oh, you
Oh,
bastard! Oh, I hate you! Oh my god!" Just you could hear in his voice, like, "You bastard!" I loved his voice.
I,
He did. I don't remember what Triple H did, but you son of a bitch! Why? Tell me why? Why?
Oh,
Like,
I should know. I
yeah,
think that was something from a Raw in 2001 where he like I think Triple H assaulted Austin, and that's
yeah,
what that
it's a lead
came from.
pipe. Yeah, you
Yeah,
You no good son of a bitch. Why? Tell me why. Damn you.
I
Like,
I loved JR and Triple H always, whether it was JR yelling at Triple H on commentary, they always did great shit together. And
uh-huh.
I also always loved, which we actually see a little bit of it on this show, where Jerry Lawler always sided with Triple H.
Uh-huh. Don't
Lawler
you,
was
you
sort
son of
of
a bitch. Don't you hit her.
yeah. Lawler was always sort of the heel commentator in the group
Mm-hmm.
with JR, but although sometimes he actually would like side with the baby faces, but if it involved Triple H, more often than not, like 99% of the time, he would be on Triple H's side. Doesn't matter what happened.
Facts.
And I think maybe some of that had to do with the fact that JR hated Triple H so much. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So next segment, and I should have asked your thoughts on that segment. I fucked up there. That was my mistake.
That's
Before
all.
I skipped to that, yeah.
It's all
So
good.
backstage, we see three dogs in a cage, and JR and Lawler are like, "What the heck's going on here? Why are we seeing three dogs walking around in a cage?" And then we cut. We see Mankind walking around backstage, and they cut to a clip of last Thursday where Mankind cost the Rock a match, and Mankind ended up getting the Rock bottom because of that.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if there's necessarily any thoughts needed for that. So next match, Billy, or the next we
Yeah.
have a match.
I have a question.
Okay.
This around the time that Rock and Al Snow were feuding? Because I know on SmackDown they had a cage match.
Yes, that was later in the year. That was December. This was getting close to that time. So at this point, Mankind is feuding with Val Venus, and Rock is feuding with British Bulldog. And on this particular show, the one of the big stories on this show is the dissension, as we just mentioned it, the dissension
Oh,
between Rock and Sock.
gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I remember that cage match because I was like,
Yeah,
man,
that cage.
Rock was a main eventer in '99, and he had a cage match with Al Snow. Wow.
Yeah, hey, for a weekly show, you're not gonna be having Rock go up against Stone Cold every night on weekly shows. That wasn't a pay per view.
Triple
That was like a SmackDown or Triple H. Yeah, you're not. And that was a pretty decent cage match.
Yeah.
Next, we got the first match of the night. Now, the episode, as we said at the beginning, the title for this, no, not the title, the date for this episode was October 11th, 1999. This was only about a week after the Draws incident. So the New Age Outlaws come out right after the whole Mankind stuff. And, they do the normal shtick where, if New Age Outlaws shtick, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all age, all that shit. But at the end of it, Road Dogg gives a shout out to Draws. So this leads to Billy Gunn versus Crash Holly. At this time, the New Age Outlaws are feuding with the Hollies. It was a nothing match as you expect. It's a weekly show. It's
Yeah.
we're not. It's a weekly show during the Attitude Era. We're not getting 20-minute fucking
Banger.
fake fights all over the show. Though it's the way it should be. We're getting short matches and we're building towards the pay per view. That's the main goal here, at least for this show, because this is the go home show. Uh, Billy Gunn gets the win in quick fashion, and then after the match, the Hollies attack the Outlaws, beating them up with the scales, which the Hollies with the scales was always hilarious. Um,
Yeah,
any
I like
thoughts?
that scale. I like that scale gimmick. That was hilarious.
No
And you
doubt
know,
that it was.
like over 400 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, they were the super heavyweights. They were over 400 pounds. What are you talking about?
Come on, man.
The super
Stop-
heavyweights, man.
Don't cap. They were at least they were not over 400, but they were at least 300.
They were a combined weight of like 845 pounds or something like that. They were the super heavyweights.
Damn. Okay. I got
So
nothing.
backstage, another backstage segment. Anybody remember the USA TV show G versus E? Anybody?
What show?
G versus E.
Z versus Z?
Yeah, do you remember?
I got nothing.
Right. Well, this apparently was the night after the pilot episode aired, and Mankind, your boy Mankind was on it. So Michael Cole backstage interviewing Mankind, and he congratulates Mankind on G versus E. For some reason, after the congratulations, there's this weird thing where like Mankind is about to say like, I think he's about to say that he might get another appearance on the show, and for some reason, the middle of his talking it like gets bleeped out, which I don't know if that was just a mistake that happened live. It happened both on the blank DVD and on the network, so I have no idea what happened there. I think maybe somebody just pressed something by mistake because he definitely didn't curse. He was in the middle of saying like, "I might be on another episode," which of course you don't want to censor that too. You want everybody to know that. If Raw is on USA Network and Raw, they're trying to help here, promote one of USA's shows. So I don't understand why Mankind got bleeped there, but he actually ended up saying like, essentially repeating what he said, and I don't even think he knew he was bleeped out, but he has kind of repeated like, I don't know if I'll be on another show, something to that effect.
Right.
But anyway, that's not what this whole backstage segment was about. Mankind was asked about The Rock and about the what happened last week on SmackDown, where he screwed up, got the rock bottom for it. So he talks about the mistake, where what happened was he hit Rock with a chair by mistake. But then he says maybe it wasn't a mistake because you know what, The Rock, he hasn't been a team player for Rock and Sock, and you know what, tonight he needs it's put up or shut up time for The Rock. little bit of dissension here in the Rock and Sock Connection world. Which, by the way, one of my favorite tag teams of the Attitude Era, Rock and Sock Connection,
Facts.
and
That's
mentioned them earlier. Mentioned them earlier, New Age Outlaws as well. Those are my top two for Attitude Era tag
yeah.
teams.
Those were great teams. I would
Yes.
also add in. This is a very underrated team in my opinion, but Mosh and Thrasher.
Keep watching if you like Martian Thrasher. Keep watching.
Yeah.
They were good too. But
Follow us on
keep watching.
TikTok at the Retro Bros Reviews on TikTok. Uh, follow us on YouTube at the Retro Bros Podcast. Do it. Follow
Did
us.
you did you just notice that ticker? We've had that same ticker
You
for
know
like
what? I did just notice the ticker. So,
we've had that same ticker for like
hey,
months.
man, it's been a long day for me. All right. I'm a little.
Yeah. We haven't actually put anything. I should say I, because I'm the one who uploads to TikTok, but I haven't put anything on there, a lot on there lately. It's whenever Tro gives me a clip, I'll ask Tro to clip this, and he'll give me the clip, and I'll upload it to the channel and to our TikTok. But yeah, check them both out. There are a few clips from on our TikTok as well.
Yep.
So
And
next we have
make sure you watch our YouTube shorts as well. We have some pretty good shorts for you.
yeah. So next, it's the dogs again. Where we see the dogs in the cage, and you see that they've made a little mess. You see that, and Lawler points that out just as the segment was ending. So don't know what's going on with these dogs, but we're gonna find out real soon. Next, one of the more underrated women of the Attitude Era, Ivory, taking on Mae Young. She comes out, cuts a promo before the match, talking about Moolah and Mae Young, saying justice will be served come no mercy. Again, go home show to no mercy here. That's what we're building here. When it's a go home show to no mercy, we're not putting 20-minute fake fights all over the show. We're building towards a damn pay-per-view here.
Hey,
Um,
do you remember the No Mercy themes? No mercy.
yes,
I'll
yes, that was a
have
banger.
no mercy on your soul.
Hey, I got the 2002 No Mercy DVD. You put
Really?
that in and you just
There
stay
was like,
on
and there
the
were like
menu
two
guide.
versions. One of them was like slow, and one of them was like real hard. Was like real fast.
I don't know if there were two versions, but
I think there were. I could be wrong.
mhm. I mean, the theme was used for years when we got to No Mercy, like 2002 to probably like 2006 or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, on the well, not 2000. I know 2003 was a different theme though. I'll say that, but I think they brought it back in '04
and it
and
was
used it to like yeah. But yeah, on the DVD menu for No Mercy '02, you put that in, you just stay on the menu, and that song will play. It's a good song.
on repeat.
Um, yeah, yeah. So, like I said, Ivory cuts promo on Moolah and Mae Young saying justice will be served at no mercy. Uh, Mae Young and Moolah come down. It's supposed to be Ivory versus Mae Young. Ivory kind of jumps Mae Young. Moolah gets involved, just beats the shit out of Ivory. Ivory runs away. A pretty
Yup.
good segment. Moolah and Mae Young were also an underrated part of the Attitude Era. They were always entertaining. Next, we see Mankind walking around again, and Jerry. Oh, what were your thoughts on that match if you saw it?
It was a nothing match to me. It was just kind
Right,
of. Mhm.
it was really more of a segment. It was just building up to the pay per view. Like I said, that's what this show's all about. So we see Mankind walking around, and what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold up. I'm sorry. So I got distracted.
Yeah. So we see Mankind walking around, and Jerry Lawler, or the King actually says, no, not Jerry Lawler, JR says, okay, we got The Rock on the phone here, or we're trying to get The Rock on the phone. And then you start hearing the phone ring. And one of the funniest things is The Rock says hello, and like the phone's still ringing. I don't know who controlled the sound of the phone ringing. Yeah, I don't know who's in control of that sound, but they kind of messed that all up there. Because Rock literally says hello, and then the thing rings like two more.
Yeah.
So The Rock is asked about Mankind. He says he doesn't like, by of course, JR and Lawler. They're doing this telephone interview. He says he doesn't like Mankind, and he says he'll be at the arena to deal with Mankind in a few minutes, and he will have, The Rock will have the Georgia Dome rocking tonight. Now we got Bulldog backstage. They asked Bulldog about these dogs because, of course, dogs, Bulldog. So it's got to have something to do with him, right? Well, he says he has no idea. He doesn't know what's going on, and he says if somebody's trying to play a joke on him, they will pay. He also is asked about the Rock and Sock drama. He says he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care about it. And then they show from Rebellion '99. They showed a clip from Rebellion '99 where Bulldog tried to get a title shot. Mr. McMahon said no, and this was like in the McMahon office where Stephanie's like there, the Stooges are there. So Bulldog's all pissed off. He picks up a red, metal trash can and flings it across the room, and sadly, it ends up hitting poor Stephanie McMahon. So
Oh,
they show that clip, and that clip is leading to the following interview that is a pre-tape where Michael Cole is interviewing Stephanie and Shane McMahon, and Stephanie says, tonight was supposed to be her wedding, and she feels so terrible. She can't even remember Andrew, aka Tess, and Shane McMahon is there trying to console her. It's like, this isn't your fault, don't worry about it, stuff like that. A really good segment. The whole thing with Stephanie, Tess, and of course eventually, well, even Shane McMahon, because for a long time the feud with Shane McMahon and Tess that led to a really good SummerSlam match.
yeah.
That whole thing and how it ultimately ended too with Triple H getting involved was tremendous.
Was
One of
Shane
the
a
better
babyface in that match, or was he a heel?
for the test match at
Yeah,
SummerSlam. He was a baby. He was a baby because
was
he
that heel? Okay.
Oh no, actually no, he was the heel. Actually, my mistake. He was sort of in a baby face role where he's like, I don't want my sister to get hurt here, get her feelings hurt by
Right.
this jerk test. But no, it was more of like in a heelish way. Because like Tess wasn't a jerk to Stephanie.
Right.
Tess
Like a
wasn't a jerk.
he was like a tweener.
Right, right. No, but no, he was the heel. He was the heel because he was sort of looking out for Stephanie when Stephanie really didn't need anybody looking out for her.
Or I was in the
Because
right place, but just doing it the wrong way.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Because Tess didn't need, or Stephanie didn't need any help from Tess
Okay.
or from people to be, helped, like keep her away from Tess. She didn't really
Talk about
need
the
that.
next match for a sec. I'll be right back.
And by the way, the Mean Street Posse stole the show during that SummerSlam match, sitting on the couch in the stands. That was hilarious. Now we got Mankind backstage again. He's just walking around, waiting for The Rock, and then all of a sudden, Val Venus and the Bulldog attack him from behind, and a beatdown ensues. And then we see Mark Henry getting out of a limo and just getting ready for his match that ultimately happens later in the night. And then we follow that up with the Terry Invitational Tournament match number 4 between Edge and Christian and the Brood, who are of course the Hardys. Uh, Not much going on in this match either. Crowd really didn't care, even though this was probably up to this point the longest match of the night. But again, the crowd really didn't care. It was like, let's get to more pay per view build up, which there sort of was a little bit of pay per view build up at the end because this ends in a double DQ, and both are disqualified. So the tournament continues. I'm not even sure if that was the final match of the tournament. It was supposed to be the final match of the tournament because it was 2-1 Edge and Christian. So the Brood were either going to tie or be down 3-1. I don't know. I really don't know the full rules as to that. All I know is, yeah, they had a really good ladder match at No Mercy 99, but a little bit overrated. I'm just gonna say that. There was plenty of great stuff going on at No Mercy 99 that I would put over that ladder match. And look, I get it. They busted their ass at that show, putting their bodies on the line and everything. Not saying it was a bad match. It was a great match. But I'd put the Jarrett China stuff over that. I'd put Austin and Triple H match over that. But yeah, this match here, not much going on. The crowd really didn't care, and it ended in the double disqualification. And then that was just, of course, leading up to the eventual ladder match Sunday at No Mercy. So then backstage, did you see that match? This match 4 from the
Uh,
Terry Invitational.
did not
I
see
mean,
this
did you
one. I
even
saw the
did
I
you?
saw the
Yeah,
ladder match, but did not see this one.
right, right. Because you didn't watch the show. We're reviewing a show, and you didn't even watch the show we're reviewing. But anyway, next we got another backstage segment. X Pac with Kane. He's
This was
telling
your
Kane,
show.
right? But you agreed to be a part of it, so
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
watch it, right? So we're backstage. X Pac tells Kane, tonight you better stay out of my match. I don't need your help. Blah blah blah. And then a limo pulls up. I should have mentioned that when Mark Henry arrived, a limo pulled up, and everybody, JR and Lawler, were like, "Oh, this must be The Rock." Well, no, it was Mark Henry. So another limo arrives here, and this time it actually is The Rock. And we go to commercial, come back, and Rock is being interviewed. He says he's brought some of the Georgia Bulldogs mascot to the arena, and he has a surprise for the bulldog. And then he says, "Let me do my catchphrase first," and he starts going in and making fun of all the WCW star catchphrases, like he did
I remember.
Flair, and he's like,
I
"Oh no,
remember.
not yeah, not that one, not that one." He does Hogan, it's like, "Oh, not that one." He does Savage, like, "Oh no, that's not it either." And then like after all the WCW guys, he does If You Smell, all that. So that's
He
it.
does Brett. He does. Yeah.
Like I said, they're at the Georgia Dome. They know it. They know they're on their enemy turf, and they want to rub it in as much as they can.
Right. It's just.
uh,
It was Rock
I
being
would,
Rock.
oh, of course that too, but I still think that even with this show being in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, if this show wasn't at the Georgia Dome, he wouldn't have done that. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but I think that was because it was at the Georgia Dome. Now, after all that happens,
Little nod, little Easter egg for the fans that know.
yeah. So after all that happens, Mankind comes in, interrupts him, and he wants to know where they stand. Rock says something where he's all mad and stuff, and then Mr. McMahon jumps in. He's like, "You guys got about 24 hours or something like that where you guys need to get your shit together because tonight you're in a tag team match with Val Venus and British Bulldog." And after that, McMahon leaves, and The Rock was like, "Remember how you said last week, win one for the Micker?" That was, of course, at the show, the October 5th, 99 SmackDown, where Droz sadly did get hurt. But it was one of the more infamous Rock and Sock backstage segments where at the end of the segment, Mankind says, "Win one for the Micker." And the Rock puts it over. He's like, "Win one for the Micker? What the hell?" He's like, so
The
he
hell's the
says,
Mick? I remember.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was.
yeah. So he said last week he said win one for the Micker. Well, tonight win one for the Scooper. Everybody's like, and there it's like, what the hell is he talking about? What does that
Right.
mean? Pretty good segment there, especially Rock doing what he does best, just entertaining. Next up, probably the best match of the night, or at least up to this point, the best match of the night. X Pac and Farouk. X Pac in 1999, I love him, and one of the wrestling glory days, who always wants to bash Vince Russo whenever they can, actually talked about the X Pac Kane stuff from 1999 that was going on at this point. I loved all of it. I loved X Pac playing the underdog role for most of this year in '99. Even before the stuff with Kane, Backlash '99 with Triple H. I think they did a nice little underdog story there for X Pac.
Yeah.
And he was the underdog in this match because as his opponent with who had his tag team partner with him come down, Jerry Lawler mentions, this might not have been the best night to tell Kane to stay back there.
Yeah.
Who's his opponent and who's the tag partner? Well, you hear the Acolytes theme hit, and Farouk and Bradshaw come down to the ring. It's like, yeah, maybe not the night to tell Kane to stay backstage. And the opponent is Farouk. And so there's a little bit of an underdog story here. He's going up against Big Farouk, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. X Pac ends up coming back, winning with the face
Was he
buster.
NWA or WCW?
It was WCW, but I think it was the NWA's title. Sort of like how when Impact Wrestling first came into business, their title was the NWA title. I think that's what WCW was going on. I don't. It might have been the WCW title. I don't even know now, but
Yeah, I think it was a WCW title. I
I
think.
gotta. I'd have to rewatch that match. I've watched that match before too. I've seen it, but I can't remember which belt it was. Um, so X Pac gets the win with the face buster on Farouk. Kane comes out after the APA, or I should say the Acolytes, they're not the APA yet. The Acolytes put a beating on X Pac. Kane comes down, gets a little hesitant because X Pac just told him, "Don't come into my business tonight." Although he did say during the match is over. He's getting jumped here by the Acolytes. Kane's hesitant. He's like, "Should I help him?" Blah blah blah. And then finally he runs down, cleans house, choke slams the Acolytes, and that's the end of that. Now
Yup.
we get a re now we get a recap of the opening segment. Oh, yeah, like I said, one of the best matches of the night here. Probably 3.5 stars if we're rating on the star menu. All the other matches so far all get 1 star from me.
This was a good feud. I liked it. It was very rough and tough and physical, and it was brutal. It was a very big boy heavy feud, and I liked it. And then you had X Pac in there, sort in the
Right, right. X
sort of
Pac
not a
playing
big
that
boy, but
underdog role essentially.
yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
good.
Three
Then
big
we get
boys and the underdog. Yeah.
right, but the underdog has one of the big boys by his side in King.
Uh-huh.
At least for now. For now, not forever, as we will see towards the end of '99. So now we get a recap of the opening segment with Austin, Triple H, JR, and China. And then JR leaves commentary. Law's like, "Where you going?" I got to get ready for my match. And as he's walking away and walking up the ramp, Jerry Lawler says, "That's a dead man walking right there." And
Mhm.
now we get while you were gone, there was a segment, and I did kind of mention it to you when you came back because I messed up a little bit. I should have mentioned the limo. But there was a segment where a limo pulled up and it turned out to be Mark Henry when
Yeah,
everybody
I
thought it
heard
was
that.
going
I
to
was here for that.
be. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, you weren't there before. You were there when I, fixed it because I didn't mention the limo the first
Oh, I
time.
see. I see.
So now we go to a pre tape. It's Mark Henry's therapy session. The
Okay.
therapist, whose name is Dr. Early. They didn't mention that at first, but Mark Henry has a match later, and they actually say her name
Was
during the
this when
match.
they introduced that trans?
No, not yet. Or actually, this was after that. Actually, Sammy, the
Yeah,
WWE
I don't
legend
wanna,
heavyweight champion.
I'm not gonna sit here and call him a tranny and disrespect him.
Yeah. Who knows if it really was though? That might have just been a character on TV,
Yeah.
not a real actual.
Yeah, but I
But
mean,
anyway, uh, Mark Henry therapy session where Dr. Early says we need to go, we need drastic overstimulation measures here. And Mark Henry, who is not taking any of this seriously, gets a little smile on his face and says, "Well, I'm going to need these." And he pulls out handcuffs. That's essentially that segment. Next, like I said, keep watching. You mentioned them earlier, and I said keep watching. Next, Chris Jericho and Curtis Hughes take on the returning Headbangers. This was right
Is it
after
Curtis Hughes
the.
or Mr. Hughes?
It was Curtis Hughes at this point. Mr. Hughes was New Generation era.
Was he
Yes,
Mr. Hughes? He was.
yes.
He. I thought they brought him back as Mr. Hughes.
No, they brought him back as Curtis Hughes,
Okay,
mhm, where he was Chris Jericho's
they should have brought him back as Mr.
bodyguard.
Hughes. That would have been better.
Yeah, he's Mr. Or he's Chris Jericho's bodyguard here. Um, This was right after they ended the singles run for, was it Mosh or the other guy? I don't even know.
Thrasher.
Whoever they were,
Hey,
it might have been Thrasher.
uh, We're not going to disrespect Thrasher by just calling him the other guy.
I forgot his name. That's why I
He
said
is
the
on the
other.
same level of Taka Michinoku in terms of goat
Well, I
status.
feel bad for him then. I feel bad for him then. Then he ain't even close to it. But yeah,
Hey,
Thrasher.
you
This
know
was.
what? You all laugh at me for saying that Taka Michinoku's a goat. You know what?
That
I
is very
dare you
laughable.
to go out there and do as good as he did. I dare you to.
Well, I can't. I can't do flips. I can tell you that. But it won't make me the goat if I did. I can't do flips like he does. I'll tell you that. But that doesn't make you some goat just
Can
because
you
you
do a
can do
cartwheel?
cool flips.
Can you
No,
do a
I can't
cartwheel?
do cartwheels. No,
Okay.
I can't do cartwheels.
Actually, I can't
Never
either.
will.
So.
Yeah, neither of us can. But it doesn't make you some great big goat in the pro wrestling business just because you can do all those jumps,
Hey,
flips, and all that.
backflip and do a German suplex. Boom. Goated. But no,
Anyway,
Thrasher was not just the other guy. They both had their roles.
I didn't mean it that way.
I know, I know.
I didn't mean it that way. I don't see anybody as
Which
the
one?
star of that
Which one
group.
was it that did Beaver cleavage? Do you remember that?
That's what I was saying. Yes, it was. That's what I was just about to get to. This was right after they ended Beaver cleavage, which was kind of funny, but yeah, it wasn't one of those like great moments of the Attitude Era. It was okay, and
Oh,
it didn't
hey,
have to stay
hey, hey. That's enough of that. That's enough of that disrespect.
enough for you. Oh, you liked it?
I did.
Thought it
Beaver
was.
cleavage was awesome.
I'm not saying it wasn't though. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it was
Hey,
okay. It was
off,
okay.
off the record just for a split second, but I don't know if you ever watched. There was a show called Mad TV.
I love Mad TV, bro.
Right.
I grew up
They,
on
they
that.
had a they had a sketch. They had a skit. It was
Mhm.
Leave It to Blink 182. Do you remember this one? Have you ever seen it?
What season was that?
I don't know what season it was, but it was hilarious. So what it was it was Leave It to Beaver, but Blink
Blink 180.
182, the band
Right.
was the Beaver, right? So it was Leave It to
Yeah.
Blink 182, and it started off as all the Leave It to Beaver episodes did, and then the mother tells the dad, "I'm worried about the Blink," and he goes, "Well, why? Did they break into their window playing baseball? No. Did they do this? No. Did they do that? No." I found a fit the Jack Daniels, a naked munchkin, weed all under their bed. And he goes, "Oh, well, guess time to have a talk with those boys." So he calls out to Blink, and they come down here, and they're like, "Now, Blink, is there something you should tell us?" And Blink 182 Blink goes, "No, no." And the mom goes, "Blink," and one of them goes, "Fuck, mom." He said, "No."
You know what my favorite
So,
you know what my favorite
have you
M
seen this? Have
Mad
you seen it?
TV. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh,
But or
dude.
at least I maybe forgot it. I don't know. But
So then Wally, the brother, walks in, right?
yeah.
And he goes, he close myself. He goes, "Hey, Wall, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, Blink." And Blink's like, somebody, one of them goes, "Go to hell, Wally, eat my ass." And then the other goes, and then the other one goes, and then he goes up to the third one and he goes, "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?" And the guy responds, "What's the matter, dickweed? Mom still got your balls." So, so then So then they're like, the mom goes, "Now, boys, you know I hate it when you bicker, right?" So
Mm.
then he goes, "Oh, I can't. I failed my math test, and I can't sleep on account of all Blink's partying." So then, so then the parents are ask him, "Well, um, I think it's time we have it ends with the parents finding out that they did have a party, and so he goes, "The fact that you would bring Jack Daniels, naked munchkins, strippers, weed into our home without inviting us is horrible.
Yeah.
Wally, you're grounded." And Wally's like, "For what?" And mom goes, "For being such a tattletale. Now go on
Mhm.
upstairs to your room and think about what you've done." And then everybody else just freaking is just stays down at parties. And there's also a little funny part where the mom throughout the skit is like rack of ribs, brontosaurus burger, pop rocks and soda. It's a funny skit. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah.
But
One of my favorite Mad TV skits was the Sopranos one, where it was like Sopranos, but it's on instead of HBO, it's on
yeah,
Pat.
so he's like, "What the fuck?" And then it just cuts out.
Yeah, yeah.
Christina, let's talk about your mother. Fuck. Next scene.
It's Sopranos edited by PAX TV, which do you remember PAX, that network?
I don't remember.
I think
I
they're
remember PAX. Yeah.
yeah, me too. I used to watch fucking Supermarket Sweep on that network. I think it's Ion TV now. That's what Ion was. It was used to be PAX.
Yeah, and then
It's Ion
there was
TV.
another skit with Key and Peele. It was called the Gay Gangster Fight, and it was like these two. It starts off by these two guys. These two gangsters who are Key and Peele, obviously, and they're like, "Man," one of them goes, "Man, what are you doing here?" It's like, "I gave you specifically 24 hours to disappear. Here it is, 24 hours later, and you still standing here. That's disrespect." And the guy's like, "Well, I don't care what you call it, right? Because I'm like a rock. I don't move. I don't move." He goes, "Oh, you don't move, huh?" And the guy pushes him. Rock moved. Rock moved. So then the other guy's like, "Oh, see, now the law of motion clearly says that the thing you might push might come and push you back, or you want to do this
Mhm.
next." So they're getting ready to fight, and then like the guy like they're getting ready to fight, and like something like one guy goes for a move, and the guy goes like all gay with it, right? And he just like puts the dick in his face, and it ends like, "Man, this is so wrong." He's like, "Yeah, well, what's so wrong about it?" He goes, "I thought you was with somebody, man." And the guy goes, "Oh, I broke up with Trevor 3 weeks ago." "Well, then come
Mhm.
here, Mr. Man." So it's
So just
back,
one,
back,
yeah. Key and Peele always killed it on Mad TV. But
yeah, back.
one final thing on the oh man, leave it Beaver Cleavage. Yeah, I don't think it was as horrible as people make it out to be. I thought it was okay. It was something that was just there. That's really what it was. It
Yeah,
was not hilarious, but it was somewhat funny. That's what I'll say about that. But the one
I thought it
thing,
was better than Saturday Night Live, honestly.
Beaver Cleavage,
Oh no, no, I thought we were talking about Matt. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
Mad
sorry.
TV. I did like Mad TV more than SNL. Like I said, every Saturday night I was watching Mad TV. But like I was saying about Beaver Cleavage, it was something that was just there. It was somewhat funny, not hilarious,
Yeah,
but for some as me, somebody who I love Russo, I love Ferrara. I feel like they're the two greatest writers of all time. But for when Vince Russo goes out on his podcast to say stuff like, "Oh, Vince McMahon at times was the old man who didn't know what the young kids liked. He's bringing in Little Richard at WrestleMania 10. What an old, out of touch guy." I mean, who in 1999 that was watching pro wrestling knew what Leave It to Beaver was? That's all I gotta say. Like Vince, I love you, but seriously, like, what was that show from the 50s? Like,
Yeah.
who in 1999? There was a young kid. We all know young 18 to 35-year-olds were watching Raw in 1999. Nobody, they maybe have heard of it, maybe heard of Leave It to Beaver, but nobody was watching Leave It to Beaver in 1999. That was watching Raw. So I'm sure that skit, those skits probably to those kids were like, what the hell is this? What is this even supposed to be? So for Russo to say like Vince McMahon was out of touch when he brought Little Richard to WrestleMania 10, I mean the whole Leave It to Beaver in 1999, that's a little bit of an out of touch move. I love you, Russo, but seriously, bro, that's a little bit out of touch. Don't throw stones when you're living in a glass house. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, getting back to the match that we were up to. So Thrasher dropped the Beaver Cleavage gimmick. He's back to the headbanger stuff. This is their return match. And after a little miscommunications, another miscommunication between Jericho and Hughes, Jericho leaves Hughes high and dry. He walks away. And the headbangers pretty much pick up the scraps, 2-on-1, get the win. Again, another one of those short matches. Again, a weekly show in the Attitude Era, as it should be, was not about giving people 20-minute matches all throughout a 2 hour show. They
There's
were
nothing
about
wrong with that, though.
throughout a 2 hour weekly show, 3 hours now weekly show. I have a lot wrong with that. I ain't sitting here for a TV show watching fucking fake fights all over a show. Leave those for the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views are where you put the matches on after you build them up over the weekly shows. And then once you build them on the weekly shows, it brings interest to those matches. I have no interest in a cold wrestling match. I don't care how great technically
Oh,
sound the
but that
wrestlers
match
may be.
is the start of a feud that leads up to a pay per view.
You start feuds storyline wise. You don't start it with a 20-minute fucking wrestling match that all of a sudden leads to a feud of more 20-minute wrestling matches. This is what the Attitude Era was all about. We built storylines, as we're about to see in the next segment here. Again,
You
about
said
this segment.
we. You said we.
Yeah, the viewers watching the Raw, as we are about to see if you're watching this episode.
No, no, you said we built storylines. No,
No,
no.
I did not say we built storylines. I said you build storylines on weekly shows, and I said as we're about to see right here
Oh,
with this next segment. Yes.
before.
Again,
Hey, fidget spinner, go out and get you one. These things are highly addictive.
they're cool.
Hey,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
the tag match was nothing special. Just well, short match to kind of build up the Jericho Hughes thing that's going on there. Now we get a backstage segment. Like I said, this is what weekly shows are all about. Big Show is sitting down. He looks distraught about something in his life. And then D'Lo Brown comes in to console him. And so D'Lo Brown knows what's going on here. He's like, "Hey, bro, anything you need from me, bro, I'm here for you." And Big Show's like, "I just can't believe it's cancer, man." And what Big Show's all upset about is his dad, storyline wise, not real life, of course. His dad has cancer. And Big Show says, or no, like I said, D'Lo said, anything you need, just ask. Now I got Rockin' Mankind again. And this is where we're finally starting to get an idea of what these dogs are for, what the Georgia Bulldogs are for. Or Rock tells Mankind, scoop all that dog poop up and get it on the tray. There was a big ass tray that was propped up on a table, and Mankind was scooping it all in there. And that's that segment. Something bad is going to happen to Bulldog here. Next, not a lumberjack match. What do you call when you got a bunch of Godfather's girls around the ring for a one-on-one match? What do
The
you call
host.
that? Yes, no, not the whole train. what do you call it when there's a match where all of Godfather's women are circled around the ring like they're lumberjacks?
Hojack. I don't know.
Yes, that's what it is. It is a Hojack match. The Godfather taking on Mark Henry. And as Mark Henry comes to the ring, they cut backstage to Dr. Early, who was interviewed by, I believe, Kevin Kelly. It might have been Michael Cole, but I think it was Kevin Kelly. Uh, the interviewer asked Dr. Early, how is this helping Mark Henry for him to go out there with all the hoes, Godfather's hoes? Dr. Early says, if Mark Henry can concentrate on his work, go with all those women out there, if he can go out and wrestle this match against Godfather, then he will, throw away the temptation, wrestle the match. He will have made huge progress. Mark Henry did not make any progress in this match. He loses the match quickly and then starts dancing with the hose after the match. And Dr. Early is seen backstage once it's over, all
Hey,
upset.
hey,
What?
little trivia for you. Which women or which future women's champion was
Victoria. Victoria. How would I not know that, bro? You're asking one of the biggest Attitude Era fans of that question. Once you said quick trivia, I knew exactly where you were going. I could have just said Victoria right then and
Tro
there.
said Victoria as well. You know what? Both of you are wrong. It's Jazz. Fuck the both of you.
Jazz, what? No, she wasn't.
No, it was Gail Kim. You're right.
Oh yeah, Gail Kim. What was she like? 14 at this? What? I
Hey,
don't know.
hey,
She
hey,
probably.
hey, what's wrong with Filipino hoes?
I didn't say there was not wrong. I just said she probably was a kid at this time. How would she be on Raw?
Well, hang on. Let's see how old
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
let's
She
see
is
how old
she the
she was.
same age? Is she the same age as Victoria? I don't even know.
Gail Kim.
Well, she did debut in
She
'03,
was
so
22
I
in
mean,
1999, bruh.
okay, yeah, she did debut in '03 though, yeah, so probably, yeah, that makes a little sense. But she definitely was not portraying one
And
of Godfather's.
Lisa Marie Varone actually is older than my mom and dad.
Yeah, she's
She's
been around for a
52.
long time, right?
Victoria is 52 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But
Um.
she has no kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway,
She was
what's up to
married to a
Tro
man
though?
1994 to 2015 and then had no children.
Right. Let's just say what's up to Tro. Tro dropped a Islander season, not season preview. We actually did an Islander season preview video that's on the
Lita
channel.
was one of
About
the
10.
hoes. Now,
Who?
Lita, according to Tro,
Yeah, yeah, I think she was. Yes, but hang on. Let me just
what
say,
about Trish?
Tro, no, Tro dropped a hype video for the Islanders' upcoming season. That's on the channel. Any Islander fan and hockey fans possibly watching this, go check that video out right now. Anyway, after that match, where like I said, the segment ends with Mark Henry dancing with the hose, and Dr. Early is backstage like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I fucked up here big time. But Triple H in China backstage being interviewed. I know it was Michael Cole who did this interview. He uh he essentially tells
It
JR
was
like
Kevin Kelly,
tonight.
not Michael Cole.
You sure it was Kevin Kelly that did this interview
Yeah.
with China and Triple H?
Yep.
Okay,
Pretty
well
sure.
I don't know. Then who did
Wow.
who interviewed Dr.
Wow,
Early?
Frank. Did you not watch the show?
Who I watched the show. I forgot who interviewed Dr. Early.
I don't know.
You said you must have your notes with you or the some website here.
Yeah, I
Look it
have
up.
so
Who
many.
interviewed Dr. Early? Go to the Mark Henry match. It was right in the middle of the
Yeah,
Mark Henry
yeah.
match. If it
It
was
doesn't say who.
Kevin Kelly that interviewed, okay, well there you go. Anyway, Triple H and China are interviewed, I guess by Kevin Kelly. I'm almost certain that it was Michael Cole because I feel like it was. But Triple H tells JR tonight gonna be a little slobber knocker tonight. Good piece of business, and then that's that. So now we get the beginning of, for me, what was the best angle during the end of 1999, and honestly, one of the better angles of 1999, even though it was short lived. Big Show takes on Big Boss Man. Boss Man comes out, cuts a little promo about Big Show. He's saying, "I don't give a damn about your daddy," stuff like that. It hasn't gotten serious yet. This isn't where Boss Man starts making fun and all that. This is the very beginning. So he's kind of kicking it off by saying, "I don't give a damn that your dad has cancer," stuff like
Okay,
that.
okay, I got something.
What?
It was Terry Taylor that interviewed the doc,
Oh no, you're right. You're right. It was Terry. I remember now. It was Terry Taylor that interviewed Dr. Early.
and then it it is Kevin Kelly interviewing Triple H in China.
Okay.
I have the
Why do
video.
I feel like it was Cole? Why do I feel like it was Cole? I don't know. But anyway,
Well, I'm
another.
at 106.32 on October 11th, 1999.
Yeah, you got it then.
Really
You got it then.
shows.
It does.
So
It was Kevin Kelly then. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Michael Cole.
because
But
you're using
anyway, but anyway, the match ends with DQ because Boss Man attacks Show with the
that was
nightstick.
mean. I'm sorry, Frank. That was mean what I just
No,
said.
no, 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 no. Everybody knows you're joking. You don't need to say my bad. So Boss Man attacks Show with the nightstick. Al Snow comes out trying to save Big Show. He comes to Big Show's aid. No avail. He gets a nightstick to the stomach as well. Uh, so let's see. What have I have not been asking you. Uh, but I know you didn't watch this shit anyway. But the last thing I know I didn't ask you about: Chris Jericho and Curtis Hughes versus the Headbangers. What do you
It
think?
was a nothing match just to build up the tension between Jericho and Hughes.
Okay, but you didn't even see the match. But okay. Big Show's the Big Show D'Lo stuff. I'm sure you remember a little bit of that angle, so I think you can
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, I remember this. I remember the angle, Big Show, Big Boss Man stuff. I do recall that seeing something backstage between the two of them and
Yeah,
between D'Lo and Big Show, and I that was kind of cool. I like that.
yeah, I think it was great. Nice little emotion getting
Hey
segment
Frank,
there.
I'll be right back. I gotta help my dad bring in food. I'll be right back.
Okay, okay. So let me see. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were on Big Show, Boss Man, Big Show. So yeah, that was really just a good way to start off that segment, that storyline. The match itself was a quick match, of course. Next, we have backstage Mankind continuing to scoop up poop. Very entertaining here with Mankind. And then we see Stone Cold and JR talking strategy. We can't hear them, but they are talking strategy over this match. And here's where I thought Triple H in China versus Stone Cold Steve Austin Jr. was the main event. Turns out it wasn't because there was another match to come up right after this. But yeah, Triple H in China versus Stone Cold Steve Austin Jr. For me, this is the best match on this show. Crowd was having fun; they were enjoying it. Austin and Triple H essentially brawl all over most of the arena, and it ends like in the concession stands. Their brawl. There's like popcorn all over, and Austin at the end says, "Don't worry, I'll be back. I got a nice little friend that I want to introduce you to." That's how the Austin Triple H part of this match ends. We get China is beating up on JR while all this is going on between Triple H and Stone Cold until Jeff Jarrett comes out with a laundry bin, attacks China, tosses her into this bin, takes her to the backstage area, and tosses this laundry bin that, of course, China is still in, toss it off a mini ledge. And with China, again, China's still in the bin, not good for her. The Although this happens before the Austin Triple H stuff ended. After we see the toss off the bin. That's where we're really focused on Triple H and Austin. We don't see JR again unless you watch the network version of this. You actually do see JR, but we'll get to that later. Uh, Triple H and Austin brawl, like I said, it ends in concession area, and where Austin's got Triple H like laid over a popcorn stand and says, "Don't worry, I'm coming back. I got a little friend for you. I want you to introduce to you later." So for me, this was the match of the night. Although it really didn't have an ending, it felt like more of a segment, which was kind of a theme for these last two matches. It doesn't really feel like a match. It's more of a segment, and it doesn't end with a finish because, of course, China is taken away in a laundry bin. Austin walks away, and after telling Triple H, I got a friend I want to introduce you to later. So more of a segment than a match. But since it technically was a match, I say this was the match of the night. Now we go backstage. Paramedics checking on China, who was all bloodied from being tossed off that ledge.
Sorry about that, Frank. I
And
had to help my dad.
yeah, it's okay. So pretty much all you missed out was the tag match. Oh, well, first you missed out on Mankind. There was a backstage segment right before the match where Mankind is continuing to scoop up poop. And now we get to the tag match. And I'm not going to say everything I just said, but for me, the tag match, even though it didn't have an ending, because it felt more like a segment, it was still technically a match. And for
Yeah,
me, it was the match of the night. You not only built up, you continued to build up China and Jeff Jarrett by having Jeff Jarrett come out, but you continued to build up Austin and Triple H with their brawl during this match. And like I said, once Jarrett carried China out of the arena, it was the last time on this show that you saw JR. But if you watch, as we're going to get to later, if you watch the network version of this, you will see JR again. But yeah, so that's the tag match for me. The match of the night. Paramedics check on China. She's all bloodied, and they
right.
have her
I heard you
laying
say
right.
that.
Yeah, they have her laying right next to the bin. But I was up to this. That's why I wanted to
Oh,
go
okay.
back to that's this is what I was up to when you came in. So China is bloodied, and she's laid out. They've taken her out of the bin to check on her, of course, and she's laying right next to the bin, blood all over her face, blood on her arms. Now, like I said, I always thought that Triple H, China versus Austin, and JR was the main event because the way it got built up, it felt like the main event. And technically, I guess it was the main event because it was what they built up. It
Yeah.
was, I guess, what everybody was ready to see, but it
Main
really
event
wasn't the
doesn't
match.
necessarily mean the last match on
Right,
the card.
right. And what I'm saying is, I thought it was the last match. I literally thought the show went off the air after that tag match, but it's not what happened. Val Venus and British Bulldog taking on Rock and Sock. This was the main event. This was the last match, which I really didn't agree with having this end the show. I feel like everything that went on with Austin, Triple H, JR, and China, JR, yeah, no, Triple H, China, Austin, JR. I felt like that should have ended the show.
Yeah.
You have your
Yeah,
main,
that's
you
the
have your
important bit.
main, you
That's the
have your
main bit.
main feud. Right, you have your main feud for No Mercy with Triple H and Austin. You continue the China Jarrett feud, all of that. To me, that should have ended this show. But this Venus and Bulldog versus Rock and Sock ended the show simply for a funny moment.
Hey,
And
think about this. Val Venus main evented an episode of Monday Night Raw with The Rock.
hey, Val Venus deserved it, man. He was one of the better characters of the Attitude Era. He was one of the best. So I ain't complaining for that, but I just feel like this shouldn't have been what ended the show. I
Right.
feel like because the match itself just felt like this doesn't feel like an weekly show main event. Like for me, even like I said, it's all about building. Weekly shows are all about building storylines, but more often than not, unless you're ending the show with a segment, more often than not, you get a great main event where the crowd is going nuts and they're enjoying it. That was not on this night, man. The crowd did not seem to necessarily care, and that's saying something when you got The Rock in this match.
Yeah,
Like the crowd, for the most part, did not care for
most
this match
electrifying man
until
in sports entertainment didn't really
right
electrify tonight. Yeah.
until the very end of the match, where I should have mentioned as the match began, Mankind came out with, of course, the tray. He's got the tray with loads of dog poop on it, and well, at the end of the match, they slide the dog poop and they slide that tray in. Rock hits the rock bottom onto Bulldog, who lands on the dog poop. Then he goes for the people's elbow. Bulldog moves out of the way just in time, and Rock, of course, goes, nope, nope, I ain't landing on that. I ain't landing on that. And then he just, again, like I said, the prior tag match ended abruptly. So did this match. For some reason, instead of just rolling him over and pinning him, The Rock just goes to the top, does his normal taunt, and that's the end of that match. It's like, okay. Um, but like I said, the crowd really did not care for this match. They loved the dog poop stuff, which was funny, but I feel like you could have did this before the awesome Triple H, China and JR, all that stuff. You could have did that before that, and then end the show with that match. Um, so yeah, that brings the show down a little bit for me, which I will get to overall rating in a little bit.
Hey,
What?
did The Rock and Stone Cold brawl
What do you mean?
to like
On this show? No,
no?
no, not on this
Hey,
show.
I'm gonna read you what it says on this thing. Are you ready?
Okay,
So it says Rock stops himself from delivering a people's elbow due to Bulldog's back
right,
being covered in poop. Rock ends up
right.
just leaving without getting a pinfall or submission at 8:15, but his music is playing, so I guess he won. Uh, Winners via moral victory, the Rock and Sock connection. And
Hold
then
on. Was this something that happened after the show that you're talking about? Because if it is, I'm getting to that.
hang
Sort of getting
on,
to it.
because then it says the Rock slash Austin brawl continues backstage. Austin throws
Next.
Triple H into a room.
No, that's Triple H. That's hold on. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. Hold on.
Okay.
Rock had nothing to do with that though.
Yeah, I don't know
Rock
why
had
I said
nothing to do with
Rock.
it.
Okay, I was just
Yeah, Rock had. I don't. He that was a typo.
okay.
Rock had nothing to do with
I
that.
didn't do
Yeah.
any spoilers, so continue.
Right, right, right. So and like I said, that should not have been the last thing on the show, in
Yeah,
my opinion. But they somewhat make up for it by going back to Austin and Triple H because they're brawling backstage, as you said, and Austin ends up getting the best of Triple H in this brawl. He corners Triple H into a room. Now remember what I said that Austin said to Triple H towards the end of that tag match. He said, I got a friend I want to introduce you to. Triple
okay,
H looks over to there's the shower room where he's in. He's sort of in the locker room, so
right.
he's like right outside the door of the shower room. He looks over and he sees a rattlesnake. Like, oh shit! And Austin turns the light off, closes the door, and now, although Triple H is not in the shower room, he's essentially cornered, trapped in a room with the lights off and a rattlesnake in there. And
Uh,
that's how we go off the air. Great way to end the show. But like I said, the last time on the show that you actually see JR was when uh, Jeff Jarrett comes out and abducts China. Well, if you watch the network version, after the show goes off the air, you get a little bit of extra attitude, as they call it on the network.
yeah,
It's a clip after the show. Austin comes out, his music hits. So as Triple H is getting attacked by a rattlesnake, Austin comes out to party. He celebrates. He gets the beer. He's drinking the beer, and then JR comes out with cowboy hat on, his Austin 316 shirt, essentially what he was wearing during the tag match. He comes out. They have a party. Austin gives JR a beer. They drink it together. No stunner, of course, because
Right,
this is Austin's boy. Austin JR are boys. They're not about to no stunner here. They
right.
just drink. Show goes off the air. Cool little, or excuse me, show was already off the air, but a cool little way to end the network version of this, and a cool little way to send the viewers, the fans who are viewing the show from the
Yeah,
stands, home. Uh,
yeah.
my overall,
Make them happy.
yes, send them home happy. They did that just there. My overall rating of this show, like I said, in my opinion, the way they chose the choosing of the tag matches, having the Rock match and the show over the Austin match, it kind of hurt it a little because again, I said like that tag match with Rock and Sock against Val Venus and Bulldog, fans didn't really care.
Hmm.
They loved the Rock bottom on the poop, which I get it. That's what that match was
That
all
really
about.
makes you gag just now. I
I kind of just had a burp or whatever.
know, I know, but just the way you just that just was perfect
Yeah,
timing.
that's what it looked like, right? Yeah. Well, you get rock bottom on poop and make anybody want to gag. I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
didn't he do that on an episode of SmackDown as well?
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, didn't this happen on SmackDown?
No, you know what
Like,
it was on SmackDown. I think
what?
he did that sliding elbow. I don't know if
Right, right. Yeah, that was the first SmackDown episode ever. Or
yeah,
no, no. I think it was. I don't even know. I'd have to look back into that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
So my overall rating, as I said, the I feel like the having the Rock match ended with the crowd just really not caring. And again, I get it. The match was to have Rock Bottom, Bulldog on the poop, and the
Right.
fans popped for it. The fans popped for the meaning of the match. But for me, I get it. But why couldn't you just have that prior to the main event?
Yeah.
You sort of built up Austin and Triple H
Maybe
with
they did that because they had to set up the rattlesnake part or whatever.
maybe I don't know, but for me that hurt the show a little tiny bit. I feel like you could have had you built up the tag match with Austin and Triple H, built that up from the beginning of the night. I get it. They technically built up the tag match that ultimately did end the show. They technically did build that up all night with the what's going on with the Rock and Sock, what's with these dogs, all that blah blah blah. But it
They
still
had
hurt a little bit for
animals on
me.
the show. They had dogs. They had rattlesnakes. They had
Yeah, this was the animal. This was the animalistic Raw episode,
Animal
I
House.
guess.
No.
But
Hey, folks.
my overall, hold on, let me give my overall rating. My overall rating for this show would be a 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad show,
Hmm.
but again, the choice of the last match hurt it a little bit for me. I feel like the Austin Triple H tag match should have ended the show. That's just my opinion. 1999 Raw, you still can't go wrong with it. To me, the
Yeah.
best year of the Attitude Era, and just a phenomenal year overall. But that's my views on this show.
I apologize if it seems like I wasn't too interested in this show. I promise I was. I didn't watch the show. I'll be honest.
You were good. You
But
were good. You gave as
and I
much as the
apologize for leaving like that with Frank for a minute. My dad had just come home. He went grocery shopping. I had to go help him bring in food. Um, but no, I just I liked the show. I liked there was some things I remember from this show. I do remember the bit after Triple H. I'm not sure if it was the SmackDown or the Raw
it
after.
was a SmackDown after.
Okay,
Because remember, No Mercy was Sunday,
yeah,
so
yeah.
this was the go
And
home
he had the
SmackDown to No
rattlesnake
Mercy.
bite on his eye, but I think it was a ruse.
Yeah. Right,
And
it was. It
yeah,
was. I love that too. I
yeah,
absolutely
it was
loved all that.
they made it look
Yeah,
like the rattlesnake bit him.
yeah.
That was just dude. Triple H as a bad guy was just so damn good, bro.
Yes, he's
Um,
one of the best heels ever. Not
yeah,
just in '99. the heel that Triple H that everybody hates, the heel Triple H everybody hates, the
Yeah,
Reign of Terror Triple H. That guy was great too. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah,
That guy gets his flowers too.
yeah. So folks, we're not gonna have a Retro Bros reviews for a couple of weeks. Uh,
Probably even months. If
yeah,
we're not gonna do it for a couple, we might end up being months. I
we,
don't know.
it may not happen until Royal Rumble time, as a matter of fact, uh,
Maybe.
because both of us, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Right.
I got my cruise coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll be vlogging that, so be on the lookout. He
That's
is
cool.
going to be taking care of his grandfather.
I don't
Um,
know when he's still in the hospital, but once he gets home, I'm going back down there.
yeah,
Not well, say back down there like it's far away. It really isn't. I've walked from his house to my house and
yeah.
back before.
You just stay
So
there all day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, but when we come back at you, we're coming at you with the Royal Rumble 2007.
mhm.
So uh, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed.
And let me just say before we finish that we're doing that not because it's January. Like I said, we ended up
Yeah, yeah,
doing this October show just a few days before the anniversary. We don't do stuff just because it's the anniversary. We even had that set to go back in July.
right.
Like, so don't expect a bunch of Royal Rumble shows to start popping up. We do whatever we feel like is on our mind,
Yes,
like whatever we want to watch.
facts. So
Yeah.
until next time, he's Frank. I'm CJ. We are the Retro Bros.